Taiwan's government has invested billions of dollars in dealing with the country's flooding problem. Every year, though, we still hear about the loss of life and property whenever it floods. Experts have pointed out that the government's measures are poorly planned and do not take the workings of nature into careful consideration, which only makes the problems worse.
八子 River is a stream which flows near Taichung and it floods every time it rains, in spite of the recently fortified flood prevention measures.
This tributary flows through this drain into the main stream, but the exit of the drain is smaller than the entrance, so it is very easy for this tributary to overflow when the volume of water has increased.
As the drain's exit area is smaller than its entrance, and because an anti-flood valve is installed which further limits the water flow, it's no wonder that flooding occurs easily here even without a typhoon. The Zhongxing pumping station in Uri, Taichung has an embankment which was meant to prevent flooding in low-lying areas, but ended up trapping floodwaters inside during Typhoon Sulik of 2013, which caused serious property damage. The problem was only solved by puncturing a hole through the embankment.
Mother Nature will not yield to the will of man. We may try to manipulate water flow by building man-made structures, but dredging must then be done regularly.
In Taichung, floods occur easily at the confluence of the Wu, Dali and Bazi rivers. Instead of giving the waters more passage space, 10 pairs of large concrete pillars were erected here to support Highway 74 and the high-speed rail, which further reduced the water flow. Flood prevention measures must take the workings of nature into consideration, or they will only do more harm. To prevent Transworld University in Yunlin from flooding, the government widened the neighboring Lunzai River. This, however, worsened the flooding and destroyed the habitat of an endangered tree frog.
What used to be a small creek is now a big ditch. Although it no longer floods here, but downstream near Dounan and Huwei, flooding has only worsened.
但是那个结果是下游斗南、虎尾地区就淹得更惨了。
Building more dikes and widening rivers will only slow down the flow of water, which leads to sedimentation and hypoxia and redirects the floods somewhere else.
The government's effort to treat flooding has only increased the rate of repairs made to bridge supports and levees, as the effects of erosion are now much worse than before.
频率是更高了因为它冲刷的这个情况是比以前呢严重非常多。
Professor Zhang says it's an unwinnable war. Instead, we must learn to coexist in harmony with the workings of nature. Only by giving waters room to flow can we reduce the damage caused by flooding.